Hello students. So today we are going to continue with our unit, that is current electricity, and in that series today we are proceeding with the third part. So the topic that we will be discussing today are as follows. We will be learning about resistors in series and parallel, EMF, internal resistance, calculation of current in different cases, and then we will switch on to Kirchhoff's law in current. We have already done Kirchhoff's law in capacitors, so we will be doing it in current, and finally we will be solving some numericals on Kirchhoff's law. So let's start. So our first topic is resistors in series and parallel. Here we will be understanding that what is a series connection and what is a parallel connection, and how to calculate the equivalent capacitance in case of connection in series and parallel. So let us start with series connection. The connection is said to be a series connection when a resistor or a second resistor is connected at the end of the first resistor. Like I have one resistor over here, and second resistor, it is connected at end point of the first resistor. This is resistor 1, this is resistor 2. So resistor 2 is connected at the end point of resistor 1. So such connection we call them that they are connected in series. So in this way number of resistors can be connected together. Let us connect them with the source of potential. We are connecting it with the battery whose potential difference is V. So how to calculate the net equivalent capacitance of this circuit? So here you should keep one thing in mind, that when the resistors they are connected in a line or when they are connected in a series, let the current passing or the current flowing from positive terminal of battery is I. So this current will pass through first resistor, and same current will also have to pass through second resistor and through third resistor. Fine. If current is I from positive terminal of battery, it will pass through all three resistors. So in this way we can call that in series the current passing through all the resistors is same. So the important point over here is, in series current through all resistors is same. So we can also use it as a point to determine whether the resistors they are connected in series or not. If the same current is passing through number of resistors, that means they are in series. So this is the important point that must be kept in your mind. So in series current through the resistors is same. So if the same current is passing in series, what we can say, the current over here is I, same current over here I, and same current I over the third resistor. See, now current through all resistors is I. So we can say what will be the, now the net potential is V over here provided due to this battery. Now this potential will be different on first resistors, let this be V1, and potential at second resistor let it be V2, and at third let it be V3. So current is same in series, but potentials they are different. See, total potential will be V, and it is equal to V1 at first resistor, V2 at second resistor, and third V3. So we can write V1 plus V2 plus V3 is equal to total potential, that is potential of the battery. Now we know according to Ohm's law V is equal to IR. So we can say in place of V1 we can write I into R1. Similarly in place of V2, V2 is potential at second resistor, we can write current at second resistor, that is again I same, and its resistance is R2. Similarly potential at third. Now when we are substituting the values of V1, V2 and V3 from here, what we will get, IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3, and this would be equal to the net potential of this battery. Now what will be the net potential of battery? It would be total current. See, total current is same, current generated from the battery is same as the current it is passing through first, passing through second and passing through third. So I will be writing I into total resistance or R total. Fine. So from here I can be taken as common and we will be left with R total or equivalent resistance of this circuit is equal to resistance of 1 plus resistance of second plus resistance of third. We can write in series equivalent resistance is equal to resistance of 1, resistance of 2 up to nth resistor. There may be number of resistors connected in series, so their net equivalent resistance would be equal to their simple algebraic sum. So this is the formula for resistors in series. So in series we come across two important points. One was that in series current through all resistors is same, and second point, in series potential across each resistor is different, or potential drop across each resistance is different. Like potential drop across first would be V1, across second it would be V2, and across third it is V3. So in series currents are same but potential drops are different. So this is the point that you have to keep in mind in case of series connection. Next we will be proceeding towards parallel. See, parallel connections would be like this. Here we have first resistor, second, third of resistance R1, R2 and R3. They are connected to a common battery having electric potential equal to V. Fine. Now here let the current generating from this battery is I. This current will pass till there, but at this point we have three paths for the current. So the current will get divided into three parts and it will pass through these three arms. So let the current passing through first arm is I1, and in second arm it is I2, and third arm it is I3. So at this junction all the currents, they will come from all directions. I1 will come through R1, I2 will come through R2, and I3 it will come through R3, and the total current at this junction would be equal to the summation of all these currents. So that would be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3, that would be equal to the total current, that is I. Fine. So from here we can conclude that in parallel connections the current passing through different resistors, they are different. Like the current passing through first was I1, from second it was I2, from third it is I3. So the important point that we can conclude from here is current in parallel is different because current get divided. So the current passing through first and current passing through second, they will be different because the current it gets divided before passing through the two resistors connected in parallel. So current in parallel is different. But the second point is, see, resistor R1, it is connected to positive terminal of battery and to the negative terminal of battery directly. Similarly, second resistor, it is also connected to the battery directly. In the same manner, the resistor third, it is also connected to the battery directly. So starting point of all three resistors, they are connected with positive terminal of battery, and ending point of all three resistors, they are connected with negative terminal of battery. That means the potential drop over first resistor will also be V, through second it would also be V, and across third it would also be V. And these potentials will be equal to the potential provided by that battery. Fine. So second point that we can write over here is potentials or voltage in parallel is same. So in parallel voltage same, but currents are different. Now we can use this knowledge to calculate the equivalent resistance. So as we know, the current passing through all three resistors are different. So total current would be equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So what would be the total current using Ohm's law? From Ohm's law, we have V is equal to IR, or I is equal to V upon R. So in place of I can write V over equivalent resistance. In place of I1, I can write V, because voltage is same in all three resistors. So V by R1 plus B by R2 plus V by R3. So from here, V and V, they will get cancelled out. We will be left with R equivalent resistance is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. In this way, we can derive the formula for equivalent resistance in case of parallel. So next we are going to proceed with our second topic, that is EMF or electromotive force. Although I have already made a video on this topic in which the difference between electromotive force and potential difference is discussed, but still I will be briefing it out. You can watch that video. I will be posting it in the description. So what is EMF? See, as it is clear to you till now that for flow of current, some difference of potentials it is necessary. Fine. So whenever there is a difference of potentials, the current will flow, but current will always flow from higher potential to lower potential inside the circuit. But at the same time, there is a question that what is that force which is keeping the positive plate of the battery positive and negative plate of the battery negative? Now I will be explaining it with the example. Now let us have a battery connected with a resistor, and we know the current will flow from positive terminal to negative terminal. So what is flow? The flow of positive charge. Fine. So we can say the positive charge that will flow in this direction. So this is direction of positive charge. So this is direction of positive charge, or we can say what will be the direction of negative charge? This will be the direction of negative charge. Direction of negative charge is opposite to the flow of current. So this would be the direction of negative charge. Fine. Now you can easily see that when negative charge is moving in this direction, the negative charge will get accumulated on this positive terminal of the battery. Similarly, if positive charge is moving in this direction, the positive charge will start accumulating at negative terminal of the battery. In this way, the accumulation of negative charge on positive terminal and accumulation of positive charge on negative terminal will in turn reduce the potential difference of this battery. Fine. So the positive terminal negative charge is getting accumulated at positive terminal, so positive terminal will become less positive. Similarly, positive charge is getting accumulated over negative terminal, so negative terminal will also become less negative. So in this way, the potential difference is decreasing. So there must be a kind of force which is taking the negative charge from positive plate to negative terminal. Similarly, the positive charge from negative terminal of the battery to positive terminal of battery. So there must be a force inside cell which takes negative charge from positive terminal of battery or cell to negative terminal. Fine. So the negative charge, it is flowing in this direction, and then negative charge is getting accumulated over positive terminal of the battery. So there must be some force which is in turns carrying this negative charge from positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal, so that the potential difference of this battery remains intact, and that force is called electromotive force. So electromotive force is basically keeping your positive terminal free from negative charges, similarly keeping your negative terminals free from positive charges. Electromotive force is basically doing work to keep your positive terminal positive and keep your negative terminal negative. So current will always flow from positive to negative, but the behind force, the force behind the stage which is acting, that is electromotive force. So electromotive force is keeping your potential difference of battery intact. So to further understand it with more clarity, let us have a cell which is of course connected to some resistor. We know the positive charge will flow in this direction and negative charge will come to this positive plate. Due to this, the negative charge will start accumulating at positive terminal of battery. You have to take this negative charge from positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal of the battery. Fine. Now if you are taking negative charge to negative terminal of the battery, that means you have to do some work, and that work which is done for taking negative charge from positive terminal of battery to the negative terminal, that is again electromotive force. So that force is doing the work to take the negative charge getting accumulated over positive terminal to the negative terminal of the battery. Fine. So this is the function of electromotive force. See, we can also relate this concept or this explanation with the physical example. Like you have water in your tank which is kept at top of your house. Water, it will easily flow from tank to the taps because it will always flow from higher potential to lower potential. But if you want to fill your tank up, you need some work. So what will be that work? You have to apply a pump. A pump, it will pick the water from lower level and it will take the water to the tank again. Fine. So you can easily compare this scenario with the scenario of your water tank and pump. So what is the function of pump in that practical example? Same is the function of electromotive force in electricity. Fine. As your pump is keeping your water tank filled, similarly here electromotive force is keeping your positive terminal positive, negative terminal negative. So that is all about EMF. So I would be writing it over here. So EMF is responsible. So EMF is responsible to keep positive terminal of cell positive and negative terminal of cell negative. Fine. So electromotive force is the force behind the work done to keep the positive terminal positive and negative terminal negative. I hope this is clear. Now we will be understanding that what is EMF with respect to potential difference. Now let us have a cell or an unused cell when we have not used this cell. So inside this unused cell, the positive terminal is positive, the charge from positive terminal is confined to this positive terminal only, and the charge on negative terminal is confined to negative terminal only. These charges are not moving. Fine. So there must be a force which is keeping the charge, positive charge on positive terminal and negative charge on negative terminal. Now that is EMF. So when you have an unused cell, it has EMF. Now let the EMF of this cell is E. Fine. Now when you connect this cell across a resistor, what happens? The flow of current starts. So when flow of current starts, what will happen? The current will flow through this resistor and again this current will come to negative terminal. Fine. See, we say flow of current is flow of positive charge. So when this positive charge reaches the negative terminal of the battery, it have to travel from here to here. So positive charge over here, we say current is flow of positive charge. Fine. So positive charge will reach the negative terminal of the battery, and from here this positive charge you need to carry it to the positive terminal of the battery to keep the potential intact. Fine. Now when this positive charge it is moved inside the cell, again there occurs some collisions. See, I am writing it over here. When positive charge is moved inside cell, there are number of collisions which oppose the flow of charge. So inside the cell also, when charge is trying to move, the positive charge, when it is trying to move from negative terminal to the positive terminal, now why it is moving? It is moving due to EMF. Fine. So EMF is the force which is moving it. Now when this positive charge from negative terminal, it is moving to positive terminal of the battery, it is again opposed by some collisions. Fine. That means there is some resistance even inside the cell. Fine. So inside the cell, what will be there? There will be number of positive and negative ions. So when your positive charge, it is trying to cross the cell, so it will of course undergo number of collisions. So due to those collisions, there is a resistance. So inside the cells, there is also a resistance, and that resistance is called internal resistance. Fine. Oppose the flow of charge. That means there is some resistance inside cell, and that resistance is called internal resistance. We would call that resistance as internal resistance. So what is internal resistance? When your charges, they are trying to move inside the cell, they undergo number of collisions. Now due to those collisions, the resistance offered to the flow of charges, that is called internal resistance. So this was your external resistance, and at the same time there will be some resistance inside your cell, and that resistance is called internal resistance. Fine. Now due to this internal resistance, there will be some potential drop. Fine. Like here, if you have external resistance of R and current flowing through this circuit is I, so what will be the potential drop at this resistance? So the potential difference over here would be equals to V is equal to I into R. So the potential difference over here is V is equal to I into R. Similarly, when same current I, it is flowing inside the cell. Why I am saying same current I? Because the flow of current is flow of positive charge. So positive charge has reached the negative plate. Now that positive charge is trying to move to the positive plate due to EMF. Fine. So I can say the same charge I, it is traveling from negative terminal of the battery to positive terminal, opposite direction due to EMF. Now when this current is moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of the battery, it undergoes number of collision, and due to which internal resistance rises. Now similarly, as there is potential drop across external resistance, there must be some potential drop across the internal resistance. Now let that internal resistance is R. Let internal resistance is small r. Fine. And the current passing is I, of course. Current is I. So what will be the potential drop? So potential drop inside cell would be equals to I into R. Fine. So the potential drop due to external resistor is V is equal to I into R, and due to internal resistance it is I into small r. That means when current is flowing inside the cell, there is also some potential drop. Now small I into external resistance, we call it as potential drop or potential difference, and we denote it with V. Fine. Now what will be the value of this EMF? So EMF would be equal to the potential drop across this resistor plus potential drop due to internal resistance of the cell. So I can write EMF is equal to potential drop due to external resistance plus potential drop due to internal resistance. Now what is I into R? This is actually potential drop, we denote it with V. Fine. So E is equal to V plus IR. So from here you can write V is equal to E minus IR. So this is the relation between potential drop across the external resistance and EMF. Fine. So what is this relation? This is the relation between potential drop across external resistance and EMF, or potential drop across external resistance, we simply call it as electric potential difference. Fine. So this is the relation between potential drop across external resistance. What we call it? We call it potential difference. Potential difference. So it is the relationship between potential drop across external resistance or potential difference and EMF. So this is the relationship between potential drop across external resistance, we call it as potential difference, and EMF. So V is equal to E minus IR. So from here it is clear that E is always greater than V. Right? So from here we get that E is greater than V when current is flowing. Fine. See, if current is not flowing in the circuit, like you have a cell kept with yourself without using it, so when current is not flowing, this term will become 0, and at that point of time you can say the EMF of the cell is equal to potential difference of the cell. Fine. So I will be writing these things point wise. We have a relation V is equal to E minus IR. So this is the relation when current is flowing. This is when current I is flowing through a resistor, through a external resistor. We should write it as through a external resistor. So this is the relation when current I is flowing through external resistor R, then V is equal to, what is V over here? It is I into the value of that external resistor is equal to E minus IR. Fine. So second case would be when cell is not used, like we are not using the cell, it is kept as it is without connecting it to an external resistor. So in that case we can say I is equal to 0, there is no flow of current, we are not using the cell, and if I is equal to 0, what would be the value of V? So V is equal to E. So when we are not using the cell, what would be its potential difference? We would say its potential difference is equal to EMF. There is no separate potential difference in this case because we have no external resistance and at the same time we have no flow of current. So our EMF is equal to potential difference of the cell. So when you bring the new cell from market, it is written on that that EMF of the cell is 9 volt. So you would say that its EMF is 9 volt, at the same time its potential, electric potential, is also 9 volt because still it is an unused cell. So we would call V is equal to E when cell is not used. There is another case which I need to discuss with you, is that what is this expression when cell is charging? When cell is charging, when we charge a cell, like when you are charging your battery, your mobile's battery, because when we are using it, the current is flowing in this direction, but when we will be charging it, the current will be flowing in opposite direction. Fine. So our point is, when we are charging a cell, so when cell is being charged, in that case the current will flow in the opposite direction. It will flow towards the positive terminal. That means positive charge will get accumulated over here, negative charge will of course get accumulated in negative plate. This is what charging is all about. So now, using the equation V is equal to E, now what is the direction of current? Direction of current is opposite to the direction in the earlier case. Earlier the current was flowing in this direction when we were using the battery. Now when we are not using the battery, current is we are charging the battery, current is flowing in opposite direction. So when current is flowing in opposite direction, I would put negative sign over here into R. So our V would be equals to E plus IR. So this is our formula for the relationship between electric potential and EMF when we are charging a cell. So this is the third point. This was your first, this is second, and this is third point, explaining the difference between EMF and potential difference. Now to make the things more clear, I will be writing these things again. First is, when cell is being used, our formula would be V is equal to E minus I into R, where R is internal resistance. Second, when cell is next is when cell is being charged, the direction of current, it would become opposite. So in that case, we would be writing V is equal to E minus I into R. So our potential will be equal to EMF plus IR. See, while using the battery, the current was flowing from positive terminal, and when the battery is being charged, the current is flowing towards the positive terminal. So this is the difference. And third point, we discussed about when cell is not used. So when we are not using the cell, so in that case, what would be the value of current? The current would be 0. So if current is 0, so electric potential would be equal to EMF. So always electric potential is lesser than EMF, but there is one case when we can say that electric potential or potential difference is equal to EMF, and that case is when we are not using the cell. Fine. So these are the points which we have discussed regarding the relationship between electric potential and EMF. One more point that we can write it over here is that when we short circuit a battery, like I have this battery and I am short circuiting it, that means I am connecting positive terminal of battery directly to negative terminal without any resistance in between. In such case, what would happen? The entire positive charge from positive terminal will start moving to the negative terminal of the battery. In this way, the net electric potential of this battery would become 0. So this is another case that you can keep in your mind, that when we are short circuiting the battery, so when we are short circuiting the battery, our electric potential would become 0. So these are the 4 different cases regarding the relationship between electric potential and EMF. So next we would be studying about the interconnections of battery. You may be given a circuit in which more than one batteries are connected. So now we will be studying that how when two or more batteries they are connected together, how will their net electric potential be. Now let us connect the batteries in this order. Like we have three batteries, they are connected in this manner. Negative of one battery is connected with the positive of second, negative of second is connected with positive of third. So when the connection is in such a way, we call the connection to be in order. Connection is in order. Now what does the in order means? In order means when we are connecting the batteries in such cases, see here you have one terminal left and here you have second terminal left. One terminal is positive, another terminal is negative. This means the connection of battery in such manner would eventually gives you a higher potential. Suppose the potential across first is V1 and potential of second is V2 and potential across third is V3. So what would be the potential across these 2 points? So the potential across these 2 points would be equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. We have already studied this in series connections. So our net potential over here and over here would be equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So in this way, if we have batteries or cells of lesser potentials, we can connect them together in series to get the higher value of potentials. But keep in your mind that negative terminal of first should be connected with positive terminal of second. But if we connect in the opposite manner, like I am connecting like this. So I am connecting negative terminal to negative and positive terminals are separated out. So in this case, this such kind of connection is called connection is out of order. So such connection is called out of order connection. Now what would happen if this battery has potential of, let it be 10 volt, and this battery has potential of 8 volt. Now these two batteries, they will oppose each other's potentials. That means what would be the net potential? The net potential in this case would be equals to 10 minus 8. But if the two batteries, they have equal potentials and they are connected in this configuration, their net potential can also become 0 because they are opposing each other. Fine. So these are the two connections in which batteries can be connected. There will be some numericals in which we will be using these concepts to solve those numericals. See, I will separately do a topic that is connections of cells in series and parallel, that I will be doing separately. But for now, we will be solving some numericals where we will be using in order and out of order connections of batteries. In this topic, we will be understanding that how we can calculate the current in different scenarios which can be given to us. Number of questions they are asked on this topic, especially in your JEE exams. So let's start. So let's start with the first scenario. Case 1. When we have a simple circuit in which we are given electric potential or EMF and the external resistance. Let us have a simple circuit in which we are given a battery of 6 volt and a resistance of 3 ohm connected in this manner. So if you want to calculate the current, the formula will be simple. I would be equals to V by R. Fine. So what is potential? Potential is 6 and resistance is 3. So our current would be equals to 2 ampere. So this is the simple case. That is case number 1. Now coming to case 2. Now let us have two batteries connected together, first of 10 volt, second of 6 volt, and they are connected to a resistor of 2 ohm, and you are asked to calculate the current. So in this case, firstly you can clearly see that these two batteries or these two cells, they are connected in out of order. So what, they will oppose each other. So when they will oppose each other, what will be the net voltage? So net potential would be equals to 10 minus 6, and what would be its direction? 10, because this is greater than this, so the net direction would be this one. Fine. So the net potential is 4 volt. So what would be the current? Current would be again V by R. The net potential is 4 by 2. So our answer would be 2 ampere. So in this way we can calculate current when two batteries, they are connected in out of order. So third case is when we are given total of n cells, n is total number of cells, with each having EMF E. So there are n cells and EMF of each cell is E. Firstly, they were connected in order like this. So these cells, they were connected in order initially, these n cells, but after some time what you did is, out of these after some time what you did, out of these n cells you reverse the polarity of m cells. Fine. So these n cells, they were connected in series or they were connected in order. After some time you reverse the direction of m cells. So when you reverse the direction of m cells, what would happen? Like here you reverse the direction of some m cells, and after that polarity is again same. So these m cells, polarity is reversed. Fine. So earlier we had n cells, then we reverse the polarity of m cells in between. Fine. So what would be the net potential of such circuit? See, to understand this, let us take example that let us have 10 cells. Let us have 10 cells. If you have 10 cells like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you have these 10 cells, they are in order, so their net polarity will be of course 10 into if EMF of each is E. If EMF of each is E, so what will be its net EMF? Net EMF would be equals to, there are 10 cells, it will be 10 into E. Fine. Now if out of these 10 cells, suppose you are reversing the polarity of 2 cells. Suppose you are reversing the polarity of these two. Suppose out of 10 cells, you are reversing the polarity of 2 cells. Now what would happen? Due to reverse polarity of this cell, now each have equal EMF. Fine. So due to opposite polarity of this cell will become 0 with this cell. Now as they have equal EMFs, due to opposite polarity of this cell will neutralize the effect of this cell. See, we have already studied that when two cells, they have equal EMFs and they are connected in out of order, their net EMF becomes 0. Fine. I think you can memorize this. See, if we have two cells connected in this manner, it also has value 10, it also has value 10. So what would be the resulting? 10 minus 10, that is equal to 0. Now, due to presence of this cell in reverse polarity, this cell will neutralize the effect of this cell. Similarly, this cell in opposite polarity will neutralize the effect of this cell. Now, due to the presence of two cells in opposite polarity, how many cells have become neutralized? 1, 2, 3 and 4 cells have become neutralized. Due to two reversed cell, 4 cells have gone neutralized. Similarly, if here we are said that out of n cells, polarity of m cells is reversed, then how many cells will go neutralized? Simply 2m. Clear? We total we have n cells. Out of those n cells, the polarity of m cells is reversed. How many cells will get neutralized? 2m cells will get neutralized. Then what will be the net potential? The net potential would be or net EMF, it would be n into EMF of each. This was the EMF when all were connected in same order, minus when direction of m were reversed, how many get neutralized? 2m got neutralized and EMF of each was E. So 2me gets subtracted. So what you will be left with? You will be left with E n minus 2m. So this will be our net EMF. This point you must keep in your mind. If m cells, they are reversed, what will be the decrease in potential or what will be the decrease in EMF? The decrease in EMF would be equal to 2m. Fine. So it will be equals to NE original EMF minus decreased EMF, that will be 2m into E if m cells are reversed. So this will be our net EMF. So now if you want to calculate the current in this case, the current would be equal to net EMF divided by resistance. So I would be equals to E n minus 2m divided by R. So you can substitute the value of E or N or M or R and you can get your answer of current. So this is how to calculate the current in 3 different cases. One case was simple when you are given one battery and one resistor. Second case, you had 2 batteries connected in out of order, and in third case you have n cells connected. Out of those n cells, the polarity of m cells is reversed. So let us do a numerical to understand this concept. The case number 3. Here is the question. We are given number of cells connected with a resistor of 2 ohm resistance and EMF of each cell is 2 volt. We are asked to calculate the net current in this circuit, the current that will flow in this circuit. So firstly we will see that how many of these are in order and how many are out of order. See here, this, these 3 are in order. See, positive, negative, negative with positive, negative with positive. So these 3 are in order. So these are in order. But from here, negative is connected with negative. Fine. So this is out of order with this. This negative, positive, negative, positive. These 2 are in opposite order as compared to these. So I would write these 2 are in opposite order. Then again it starts with positive, negative, positive, negative as it was over here. So again these 3 are in order. So here you can clearly see the initial 3 batteries, they are in order, and final 3 batteries, they are also in order, but the in between 2 batteries, they are out of order. So what would be the electric potential, the net EMF? So the net EMF is, net EMF, it would be equals to, how many batteries these are? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batteries. EMF of each is 2 volt. So what would be its net EMF if all of these are connected in order? It would be 8 into 2. Fine. But now two are connected out of order. Now due to these two connected in out of order, they will be neutralizing the effect of 4 batteries. Fine. See, this will be neutralizing the effect of this. Similarly, this will be neutralizing the effect of this. Fine. So this pair will get neutralized and this pair will get neutralized. So total of 4 batteries, they will get neutralized. So what will be subtracting? We will be subtracting 4 into 2. So our answer for net EMF would be 16 minus 8, that is equal to 8 volt. So this is how we can calculate the net EMF. Now if net EMF is 8 volt, we need to calculate current. Current would be equal to net EMF divided by resistance. Here we have resistance of 2 ohms, so it will be 8 by 2. The answer would be 4 ampere. This is how you can solve, or this is how you can calculate the current when you are given the number of cells connected in order and out of order. So next we will be proceeding to our next topic, and that topic is very important one, that is Kirchhoff's law. We will be using Kirchhoff's law in electric circuits. So next is Kirchhoff's rule or Kirchhoff's law. Here we will be doing the 2 laws again as we did in the chapter of capacitors. So Kirchhoff has given us 2 rules. First is Kirchhoff's junction rule, second is Kirchhoff's voltage rule. So we will be studying both of these. So we have Kirchhoff's junction rule and Kirchhoff's voltage rule. So what is Kirchhoff's junction rule? According to this rule, the total amount of current entering or leaving a junction is equal to 0. So let us suppose we have a junction over here. The current coming from this direction is I1 and the current coming from this direction is I2, and the current leaving in this direction would be equals to I3. And this I3 must be equals to I1 plus I2, or we can simply say that the total current over this junction should be equal to 0. See, I1 current is entering, I2 current is entering, but total current at this junction should be 0. That means the current leaving at that point should be equals to I3, and that I3 must be equal to the sum of I1 and I2. I have written I3 over here, it should be I2. Fine. So I3 should be equals to I1 plus I2. That means total current at a junction must be equal to 0. So this is the first rule called Kirchhoff's junction rule, and second rule is Kirchhoff's voltage rule. So according to this rule, the voltage or the potential drop across a closed circuit should be equal to 0. So I will be writing its statement first. So the net potential drop across a closed circuit must be equal to 0. So net potential drop across a closed circuit. So what will be the potential drop across any resistor? In this case, V will be equal to I into R. So net value of I into R across a closed circuit should be equal to 0. So that is all about potential rule or voltage rule of Kirchhoff's. So now we will be applying these 2 rules. We will be learning about the sign convention. Now we will be understanding the applications of these 2 rules in our numericals. So let's start with numericals from Kirchhoff's rule. So these are the 2 rules. You must write these down in your notebook. First is Kirchhoff junction rule, according to which the net current at a junction is equal to 0, and according to second voltage rule, the net potential drop across a closed circuit must be equal to 0. Now coming to the numerical part. So let us start with this question. Here we are given two batteries of EMFs 2 volt and 3 volt respectively, and they are connected with a circuit with 1, 2, 3 resistors plus 1, 4 resistors total, and the value of each resistor is 2 ohm. And we are asked to calculate the current through each branch. So what we are asked to calculate is calculate current through each branch. That means you have to calculate the current through BC, through CF, through CD, through DE. So in this way you have to calculate the current passing through each branch. So let's start. So firstly I will be taking the directions of current. Let the current starting from this battery of 2 volt is I, let it be I1, and the current starting from here is I2. Fine. So this current I1, it will pass through this resistor of 2 ohm and this will reach the junction C. Similarly, the current I2 coming from second battery, it will pass through this resistor of 2 ohm, this resistor, and it will reach the junction, that is C. Fine. So now at point C, at this junction, I1 current is entering from this side, I2 current is entering from this side. So what should be the current that must leave through this point? So the current that must flow in this direction should be equals to I1 plus I2 by using junction rule. Using junction rule at C. Fine. So at C, the current entering from one side is I1 and the current entering from this side is I2. Therefore the current which will pass in this direction, this must be equals to I1 plus I2. This is in correspondence with Kirchhoff's junction rule. So I can simply write, let the current passing through this arm is I3, and I can write I3 is equal to I1 plus I2. So this is our equation number 1 that we got from junction rule, Kirchhoff's junction rule. Next, we need to have more such kind of equations to calculate the values of I1, I2 and I3. So now to have it, we will be using Kirchhoff's voltage rule. Now when we are using Kirchhoff's voltage rule, there are some sign conventions, those you must keep in your mind, and those sign conventions are, when you are moving from higher potential to lower potential, the sign should be negative, and when you are moving from lower potential to higher potential, the sign must be positive. So the sign conventions for, I am writing over here sign conventions for voltage rule are, when moving from high potential to low potential, sign is negative, and when low potential to high potential, sign must be positive. So these are the 2 points that you must keep in your mind. So when you are moving from high potential to low potential, the sign will be negative, and when you are moving from low to high, the sign must be positive. Now we will be making some loops to apply the voltage law over here, because voltage law is always applied in a closed loop, in a closed circuit. So firstly I will be taking a closed circuit A, B, C, F, A. A, B, C, F, A. So this is the closed circuit that I would be taking. Starting from A to B, B to C, C to F, F to E. So this is the closed circuit, and I will be moving in this direction, in a clockwise direction. So now in this loop, what is Kirchhoff's voltage rule? According to Kirchhoff's voltage rule, the net potential drop across a closed circuit should be equal to 0. So now starting from, let us start from A. Here we have no resistance. From B to C, I will counter a resistance of 2 ohm. Now here you must do one thing to keep the things easy. If you have positive plate, it will be having higher potential. I will be writing H. Negative plate, it will have lower potential. I will be denoting it with L. Similarly, this terminal is connected with H, so here it will be H, and this terminal is connected with L, so here it will be L. Similarly, here I will be writing H, here I will be writing L. H for higher potential, L for lower potential. So here it will be H, this will be at higher potential, and this side will be at lower potential. Similarly, this side will be at higher potential, this side will be at lower potential, because current always flow from positive to negative, or high potential to low potential. Similarly, in CF, current is moving in downward direction. That means here you have high potential and here you have low potential. So I have denoted each resistance with the sign L and H, where H is for higher potential and L is for lower potential. If current is moving from this point to this point, I will be considering this point as H and this point as L, higher to lower. So here HL, because current is moving in this direction. Here current is moving in upward direction, so HL, again HL, positive terminal is H, negative terminal is L. So in this arm CF, current is moving from C to F, so H over here and L over here. These are the notation. Now let us apply this rule in this closed circuit ABCFA. Now A to B we have no resistance. Here to here we are actually moving from H to low. We are moving from high potential to low potential. I must take negative sign over here. And what is potential drop across this resistor? We know potential drop is equal to I into R, V is equal to I into R. So the potential drop across this would be I1 into 2. 2 is R over here, I1 is current passing through this. Fine. So negative sign, because we are moving from H to L, negative sign, and it will be I1 into 2. So 2 I1. Fine. Next, we will be moving in this direction from C to F. So when we are moving from C to F, we are once again moving from H to L. So when we are moving from high to low, negative sign would come, and with it the current passing is I3. I am taking I3 current passing in this direction. So it must be I3 into the amount of resistance, that is 2. So 2 into I3. Next, I am moving from F to A. So when I am moving from F to A, I counters this battery. Fine. But I am moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of battery. That means I am moving from low potential to high potential. So when I am moving from low potential to high potential, I must take it as a positive sign. And what is the potential drop, or what is the potential of this battery? The potential of this battery is 2. So we will be simply writing 2 over here. So for resistance, we have to calculate the potential drop by multiplying current with resistance. But in case of battery, when we counters the battery in our path, we will be simply writing its EMF. Fine. But sign should be kept in mind. Here we are moving from L to H, low to high. So I have taken positive sign over here. So this entire potential must be equal to 0. So from here I can write the things as 2I1 plus 2I3 is equal to 2. So this is your equation number 2. So this is our second equation. Similarly, we can get equation number 3 from the closed loop CDEFC. So now I am taking the closed loop, and the loop is CDEFC. CDEFC. So in this loop, I will again be traveling in clockwise direction. So starting from C, I counters the 2 ohm resistance. So what will the potential drop across it? See, I am moving from L to H. That means lower to higher, the sign will be positive, and the current is I2, current I2 passing through the resistance of 2 ohm. So I would be writing I2 into 2. Then I am moving from D to E. So when I am moving from D to E, I am moving from low to high again. The sign would be positive. So it will be 2 into I2 again. Fine. And then I counters the positive terminal of battery. Now I would be moving from H to L. That means high to low. So the sign should be negative. And the voltage of this battery is 3. So I would be writing minus 3. And then I am going in upward direction. So when I am moving in upward direction, I am actually moving from L to H, low to high. So my sign would be positive, and it would be 2 into I3. This entire value is equal to 0. So from here you can write the things as 2 plus 2, 4 I2 plus 2 I3 is equal to 3. So this is your equation number 3. In this manner you can make different equations, and then you can solve these equations by simple mathematical methods like elimination method or substitution methods. So by applying those methods, you can calculate the values of I1, I2 and I3 easily. And these I1, I2 and I3s will be the current passing through the different branches. Like I1 would be the current passing through this, I2 would be the current passing through this and this, and I3 would be the current passing through this. So by solving these 3 equations, we can calculate the values of current through different branches. Hope this is clear. So I will be posting you some more numericals based on Kirchhoff's law. Hope you have understood it. So that's it for today's video. Thank you.